This is the study guide answer key for Unit 7 and Algebra 1, writing equations. Writing equations in slope-intercept form, which we do most of the time, a little bit of point-slope form, and a little bit of standard form. I know that some of you guys do each of these questions different ways, so I'll try to show you, mix it up, the different ways that we could do these problems. So let's write an equation in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. One thing I would stress to you is that it is important to pay attention to what form that they're talking about. We know the slope is m, so we quickly put y equals 4x plus b. How in the world can we figure out what the y-intercept is? Well, there's a couple ways that we could do it, but lucky for us, they gave us the y-intercept, because when x is 0, that is the y-intercept, which means the y-intercept is negative 2, which is y equals 4x minus 2. B is a very similar type question. They gave us the slope, y equals negative 3/8x plus b. We got to find the y-intercept, but again, they gave us the y-intercept because the y-intercept is when x is 0. Y equals negative 3/8x plus 1/4. Now there are other ways to do it, but that's the easiest way to do it because they gave us the y-intercept right off the bat. C is also an extremely easy question if you know what you're doing. The slope is 0. You can always plug in y equals 0x plus b. Now you can plug in these coordinates. One of the ways to do it is just to plug in. If this is my x, negative 3, and this is my y, negative 2. Negative 2 equals 0 times x, which is negative 3 plus b. 0 times negative 3 goes away 0. Now b equals negative 2, so my y-intercept is negative 2. This y equals 0x minus 2. Of course, 0 times x we would not write. If you were to write this as your answer, it would be incorrect. This needs to go away. It's y equals negative 2 as my answer. Now, I should have known that because if the slope is 0, that means it is a HOI. If it is a HOI, because the slope is 0, HOI means a y equals the constant, and the y was negative 2, which y equals negative 2. In either event, excuse me, the equation outlines y equals negative 2. For D, this one's a little bit trickier. It does require us to use some fractions. I'll do it over here. Y equals 1/2 x plus b. So this is one of the two ways we can do it. And now we simply plug in where this is my x and this is my y, and I put them in for the spot of y and x. Y is negative 4 equals 1/2 x is 3 plus b. Negative 4 equals half of 3 is 1.5 plus b. Continue solving, minus 1.5 minus 1.5. b equals keep, change, negative 5.5. My equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 5.5. One of the more common mistakes students make is they forget to put the x. Please don't forget to put the x. You could also do this problem by doing point slope form, where you have y minus a negative 4, which means plus 4, equals 1/2 x minus 3. Let's distribute, whoosh, whoosh. Y plus 4 equals 1/2 x is 1/2 x. 1/2 negative 3 is negative 1.5. Minus 4 to solve y equals keep, change. 1/2 x minus 5.5. Both of which are the same equation in slope-intercept form. If you give the answer like this, while correct, it's not in slope-intercept form, that's point-slope form, you would be marked as incorrect. Let me clean this up a little bit, just so we can see a little bit better. Still going to write the equation of this in slope-intercept form, so y equals mx plus b. Y equals 2/3 x plus b. Now my issue is that they're both fractions. We can still work with them though. This is my x, that's my y. 3/7 equals 2/3 times x, which is 1/2 plus b. 3/7 equals, those cancel, and it's 1/3 plus b. So just working with fractions. Minus a third, minus a third. B equals, let's do this work on the side. 3/7 minus 1/3. In order to do this, we need to get a common denominator, which is 21 times 3 times 3. 9 over 21 times 7 times 7. Minus 7 over 21 is 2 over 21. B equals 2 over 21. My equation is y equals the same thing up here, except now I know what my b is. 2/3 x plus 2 over 21. Just working with fractions, nothing crazy, just working with fractions. F. Y equals, m is 1, so just x plus b. This is a nice and easy one. The y is 0, x is -2, add 2 to both sides to solve. So b, it looks like it's 2, my equation is y equals x plus 2. And the last one, g, another nice and easy one, y equals -4x plus b. Plug in, this is my x, that's my y, -7 equals -4 times -1 plus b. -7 equals 4 plus b, minus 4 minus 4. b equals -11. So my equation is y equals -4x minus 11. You could also do this using point slope form, which I'll do very quickly over here. If I wanted to do number question G with point slope form, it's y minus -7, or really plus 7, equals the slope -4 times x minus a -1. So minus a -1 is plus 1. Y plus 7 equals whoosh whoosh, -4x minus 4. Subtract 7, subtract 7. Y equals -4x, keep change, minus 11. Just gotta know how to work with your integers, operations with integers. Question 2, A, B, C, and D asks us to again write in slope-intercept form, which means y equals mx plus b. Pay attention to your form. Now the difference is they did not give us the slope, so all we need to do is calculate the slope first. Slope is change in y over change in x. So it's 10 minus 8 over -1 minus 0. Pay attention to your sign. It's 2 over keep change, doesn't really matter. -1, so it's a -2. Y equals -2x plus b. Gotta find my b. I can certainly do this, but it doesn't matter which point's which. I can plug in either, but lucky me, they actually gave me the y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x is 0, so there's sort of a cheat way to do it, but pay attention to what they give you. When the y-intercept x is 0, that means that's the y-intercept. Y equals -2x plus 8. That easy. B, same idea. They did not give us the slope, we can calculate the slope, change in y over change in x. -5 minus 0 over 3 minus 0, which is, of course, -5 over 3. Y equals -5 over 3x plus b. Now, what is my y-intercept? Well, again, I can plug in, but I know that the y-intercept was when x is 0, and they gave us that again. They did not give it to us on these ones, just so you know. But they did give us here. This goes to the origin, which means it is a direct variation. Since it is direct variation, that means the y-intercept is 0, so I can just erase this. And my equation is y equals -5/3 x. It is a direct variation with a constant of variation of -5/3, in case you're interested. This is still in slope-intercept form. A direct variation is a type of slope-intercept form. Let me clear this out so I can do C. C, gotta find my slope first. Change in y over change in x. -5 minus another -5, pay attention to your signs, a -5 minus another -5. That's going to turn out to be 0, just in case you're wondering. 2 minus 7, keep change. That's 0 over -5, which is its slope of 0. Y equals 0x plus b. Now 0 times x, you should not write 0 times x. 0 times x is just, it goes away. So y equals b, which means this is a Hoy, which you should know it is a Hoy, because the Hoy is when the slope is 0. Look, the y's are both -5, so my equation is y equals -5. The other thing you could do to prove this is graph these points. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, -5, and it also goes through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -5. So it's a line that goes that way. That is a horizontal line with a slope of 0 that goes to -5. The equation is y equals -5. And D, gotta find the slope, change y over change in x. 6 minus 5, 6 minus 5, that means it's -4 minus, pay attention to your signs, -4 minus a -2. That's 1 over keep change, 6. Sorry, 1 over a fight, -2, -1/2. Y equals -1/2 x plus 3. I can certainly plug in. The question is, and this is for the first time we actually have to do some work, which coordinate should we plug in? Should we plug in this x and that y, or should we plug in this x and that y? And for all of these, it doesn't matter which x and which y you plug in, you'd still get the same equation for all of them. They all work. So let me plug in this first one. 6 equals -1/2 times -4 plus b. 6 equal half of negative 4 is a positive 2, because a negative times negative is a positive. Minus 2, b equals 4, y equals negative 1 half x plus 4. If I was doing it do the point slope method, I could still do all of that, but I could still plug in either one of those points and they would still give me the same answer. Because I'm looking for slope-intercept form, y equals negative 1 half x plus 4. Question 3 asks to write all the equations from question 1 in standard form, problems A through E. So all we need to do is take the equations from number 1 and rewrite them in the form ax plus by equals c. So we're going to have to rewrite them. So I'm going to have to go figure out what they all are and bring them back and redo all of them. I'm just going to do it this way. I'll just do it this way. I already have the answer down here. So 1a, y equals 4x minus 2. In order to write this in standard form, we just got to swing the 4x back over, negative 4x. This is negative 4x plus y equals negative 2. Now, technically, this lead term should be positive, so let me switch the signs of everything, or multiply by the entire thing by negative 1. 4x minus y equals positive 2. For b, dealing with fractions, y equals negative 3/8x plus 1/4. All right, so if I swing this back over by add 3/8x to both sides, it is 3/8x plus y equals 1/4. Now I can't have this as a fraction, but if I multiply by 8, that'll cancel the denominator. And remember that every term gets multiplied by 8. This is now 3x, because that cancels with that, is 3. Plus 8y equals 8 times 1/4 is 2. This would be in standard form. C, this is a Hoy. Y equals negative 2. So I guess technically this is in standard form. This is kind of the best that we can do. D would be y equals 1 half x minus 11 over 2. Swing this back over by subtract 1 half, so it's negative 1 half x plus y equals negative 11 over 2. So when I bring it to that side, it's now negative. So if I want this to be negative, this negative to be positive, I have to multiply by a negative, but I also have to multiply by 2 to get rid of the denominator. This becomes 1x, or just x, minus 2y equals positive 11, because a negative times negative is a positive. That's what it would be in standard form. And lastly, we'll do E. Y equals 2/3 x minus 16 over 21. Swing this over, so it's negative 2/3 x plus y equals negative 16 over 21. All right, so I got to multiply everything by the same thing, because I can't have that be a fraction either. So if I multiply by 3, that'll cancel that out, but I really got to multiply by 21 to get that part. 21 times over 3 will cancel that out also. If you want to see it all played out, though, multiply by a negative 21 and cancel that out. So this is 42 over 3x minus 21y equals positive 16, because a negative times a negative is a positive. 42 over 3 is 14, so it's 14x minus 21y equals 16. Not an easy one, but if you just multiply by this denominator, 21, should cancel everything out. Pay attention to your signs. Question 4 is potentially the easiest of all of them. For each point below, write the equation line that goes to the point, and it's horizontal and vertical. So we want to write the Hoy version, and we want to write the Buck version. For all of them, in other words, each one, there's 2 equations for each. The Hoy is y equals the y part, and the Buck is x equals the x part. Again, the y equals negative 6, and the x equals the x part, because it always goes x comma y. Y equals negative 2/5, and x equals 0. And y equals 0, and x equals negative 4. It's really that easy for the, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8 different lines drawn here. Remember that each point has a horizontal and vertical line that could go through each of them.